All right, good morning, everyone. Today is December 10th, and this is the morning call. Yesterday, right? So every time we get these violent moves, I have to remind myself, and I was looking yesterday, and we were talking about how we went through the 5-minute pivot, and then the NASDAQ did not. This is why it's so important to be able to watch all these indexes because they're related. So then I have to look back, and then I realize, because I get my alert on NinjaTrader that says it's rollover. And, that's the one thing that on the computerized trading now, when I was trading in the pit, I was able to look and you can see the activity going to the back months when we had rollover, because all the people that were spreaders would start populating the pit, the 4 times a year they came in during rollover. So rollover, along with the volatility that's in here in the market based on what's going on with oil and commodities and worldwide slowdown, causes drastic moves. And then yesterday, I think I showed it to you how at the top, all right, I'll show you the screen today. At the top, how the NASDAQ was the only index that didn't even get out of value and didn't take out the 5-minute pivot. And when they all went to a sell, I put it out there and it went through the pivot, and they were good for about 1,500 points from there. So the problem is the way it traded yesterday, right? So if you want to short the market, you had to short it into almost a 3,000 point rally from the opening, right? And here we are having an average. If you take a look at the average high and low from close, the average high and low from close was 1,500 points. So from the opening over the last 20 days, we've had a 1,500 point high from the opening range. And what happened, we went to 2,500 points. So, when you look at those things, that's what happens when you get involved with rollover. Yesterday, oil was crazy day. I don't get it. I do get it. There's a lot of shorts in the market, and we get these bounces. But I'm sticking by my guns and telling you that oil's going to a low. They're all going to look at each other and go, "I can't believe oil's here," right? For some of you that are not old enough, I remember in high school when when gas went from 50 cents to like $1, right? And we were like standing in lines, and there were fights in gas stations, and they were rationing and so on. So anyway, it's an interesting dynamic, right? Interesting dynamic. And I still believe oil is going to get to a low, and we're all going to look at each other and go, how did this happen, right? So the other thing is gold and bonds are still in a holding pattern based on the fact what the Fed does on the 16th. And, the way I feel about gold, right? Gold is a demand product. It's not a supply and demand product. And if anybody wants to argue with me about supply and demand, go and look how much gold is mined every year. And then you tell me how many ounces are mined. And then you tell me if we can create a shortage by jewelry and electronics that gold may be used for, right? It's not. People own gold for different reasons. Demand, right? It's demand if they think there's instability in the world, and it's a hedge against inflation. It's a hedge against dollar currency fluctuations also. So if we raise rates, right? Bonds go down when you raise rates. So if we raise rates, gold will go to $1,000, and it may dip down below that. Okay. So that's where, that's just my opinion, right? And that's what this is about, my opinion. All right. So let's look at the charts, share the charts, and I want to make some observations. And remember, during rollover, all these moves are more exaggerated. So you got to be, you can't jump on the trigger right away, right? You got to really get some confirmations on highs and lows. All right. And then I'm not telling you that yesterday was, I had it pegged, but it's sort of like when you're uncomfortable with something, right? And I was very uncomfortable with the rally because they weren't moving together, all right? So let me go here, share the screen, all right? And now I have not put the values in from, you got them, but okay, wait, I'm having a little trouble here moving this. Oh, I'm sorry, that's why, all right? All right, now I'm gonna take this NASDAQ chart, all right? And I put this out yesterday. Hopefully I can get it to move. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. All right. So here's value from yesterday, right? Okay. Look at here. This was the high yesterday. Okay. Never took out the 5-minute pivot. You see this? All right. And then, you know, we have the break all the way down, right? Off for here. So the NASDAQ never took out the high. All right. And never took out the 5-minute pivot. Okay. That's why we look at the day session only pivots. You know, we look at them both. I look at them both. All right. So let's go here and let's take a look at what the, so here's value from yesterday. Okay. And look what the Dow did. And the Dow was the first one to turn yesterday, right? Here's the 5-minute pivot. And look what it did, right? So it went up, traded above value, okay? Way up here, made a top, okay? Came back down, and then boom, we took the 5-minute pivot out here. Boom. You need to buy the pivots, people. All right? I'm sorry. I'm just telling you, they'll keep you on the right side of the market. You just got to learn how to use them, all right? So let's go look at the Russell, all right? So, right? Same thing with the Russell. Let's move it over here. All right. Here's the move in the Russell. Wait a minute. Right. So the Russell, all right. So the Russell went outside of its value and took out its 5-minute pivot. Okay. All right. You see here, it took it out and it went back down in here. Okay. And then the rest of the day, we took it out and then it broke, made new lows. Okay. All right. So I tweeted out yesterday, that I don't think the market can continue going up unless the Russell and the NASDAQ get moving with us. Right. And yesterday, all right. So here's yesterday. So I have today's values in here. And by the way, we are in December. This is a little mistake on our part, but we put out the March numbers, but we're going to stay in December today because of rollover and there's more volume there. I'm going to stay in December. All right. So here was yesterday's action, right? We went up and we made this high at 79.75, and then boom, we come down here and and we take it out and we make the lows down in here at 20.34. All right. So and I put out yesterday, and then the rest of that afternoon was just a horseshit trade because we had the move up, the move down, and then we had a consolidation all day long. All right. All right. So these are the decent numbers right now. Okay. So we got a value area high of 2064. You know what, Anthony? These are not the decent numbers. We have to put these in because we put out.
Yeah, I got them here for you.
Okay.
We wanted to show them how to do it.
All right. So here's how you're going to be able to do this on the charts, right? So you're going to go to indicators, all right here. You go down to MOM levels, all right? MOM levels. You click on it. They'll appear right in here. Okay. You got a bull bear zone yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
So our bull bear zone is 2050 head.
So 2050.5. Okay, then you go to the pivots.
Pivot today is 2052 even.
2052 even. All right, so this pivot that we're talking about is the calculated floor pivot. So this is the high, low, close divided by 3, okay? This is that everybody's been using for years, okay? And that's what calculates our S1, S2, S3, okay? And and it's calculated for you and put onto the chart. All right, value area high,
2062.75.
2062.75. Value area low,
2034 quarter.
so we're going 2034.25, and then VPOC.
2040 hat.
So 2040.5. All right, then you just hit OK. All right, and we got him in. Okay. And now remember, this is the regular trading hours. Okay, regular trading hours. So that's where we're at. Okay. We got to put them in on the Russell. You got the Russell there?
No,
Did you write them down?
No, only S&Ps.
Sal, did you calculate the pivot on the Russell?
11:55:37.
Okay. All right. So, I can, you want to,
Put them out after the show.
yeah, we'll put them out. I'll get out the values and that stuff on, after that, as soon as we get done with this. All right. All right. So, again, not my favorite time to trade because it's rollover. All right. We got a high here. Let's put them in while we're talking. Right. So I always mark down the Globex high and low. Yesterday was, and I'm going to get a statistic for you. Yesterday, we exceeded the high and the low both by over 1,000 points. All right. So that's an unusual day in volatility, correct? Which I think we're going to have more of those coming. All right. So we're going to make this Cayenne 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. There's my Globex high. All right. Here's my Globex low right there. All right. So I want to keep an eye on my Globex high and low and take a look at those things, right? So I'm going to take a look. I like to split the market around J sometimes, most of the times, so I can see the afternoon action. All right. Come on. Right there. So I like to split the market right here. And I kind of look to see right in here, right? So I'm looking right in here that this 2039.5 is going to be an important area because this is sort of like the low of bracket M, the 2 o'clock, usually the 2 o'clock reversal time. So I'm going to take a line and I'm going to put it right here. Okay. Put that in there and I'm going to, I could leave it bright blue. I don't really care. I'm just going to make it a little. All right. So I'm going to look at here to see if the market moves in here, if we can go there. This looks like an unfinished bottom. Well, let me put it back together. All right. I'm going to merge it right. All right. This looks like an unfinished bottom to me. Okay. In fact, I'm going to put I'm going to reverse these. I'm going to put this little. So, all right, so we're going to have some single prints right here. And then we have this single prints that did not get filled yesterday. I was looking 33.5 down to 33. And then remember, I told you that I have a zone, and I don't want to have to go over it, but I have a trading zone, and I'll mark it right here on the chart while we're here. Okay, I like doing this so you see how I get prepared for the day, right? So I have a trading zone from 2027. All right. Oops. And then we got some single prints on here. But so I got a trading zone from 2027 down to 2020.5. Okay. So this is my next major zone on the bottom. And then below there's some single prints from 2019 down to 2014.5. All right. So if we get down through this is what I'm going to be looking for on the way down. Okay. And then, of course, we have, we're trading below our value area. So here's value area low or value area mode for the night. and that's right here. So you see all the big line of letter, 2048 half. All right. And then still left on the top, we filled these single prints in, but that's not enough for me. If you're going to be good, you have to fill them in during the regular trading hours, right? And then we have this whole single prints from F. So from here, from 2068 half to 2065. I'm sorry, 2058 half up to 2065. Then you have these in here, 2067.75 to 2070 half. And then of course we have the unfinished top up here, right here. So I'm going to move this purple line. I use those for the unfinished down to there. All right. And then I can throw in some more lines here. So this is usually the way I go and I calculate. And I keep them on my chart so I can see them as the market's moving, and then you can get them out to yourself. And they're reminders, right? So I like to use the black line. All right. I'm sorry, change this to black. Right here. Any questions going on yet?
A lot of people excited about tomorrow's package. One of our followers since we started this, Steve, is excited about the new indicators and the volume profile all done in NinjaTrader 7. So
cool.
Thank him for following. Awesome.
Thank you guys. We got a lot of stuff coming out, and I'm going to tell you right now. All right. And this is because there's a lot of nonsense out there. All right. So, did I bring down oil yet? I think I'm becoming all right. So oil. All right. There's a guy I made a bet with. I said, stupid low. And here it is. We're in the mid 30s. And I'm going to tell you right now, is anybody you know been telling you since oil's been at $58 when if you've been following me for a year, and please anybody back me up, I've been telling you that the oil is going to make a dumb low. We're all going to be looking at each other and wondering what the hell's going on, right? And that doesn't matter because it's put more money in our pocket, right? I don't care if gas goes to 2 cents, right? Because they've been sticking it up our butt out for the last 30 years. All right. So the other thing is, you take a look at the charts here. We're in the mid 30s, you know, and if you're gonna be trading this, you're gonna have to use big stops because you're gonna get these news-based spikes with all the shorts that are in the market, right? So the only thing that hasn't fallen yet, and I think it's coming, is some big default. A big default on an oil rig, some loans, some bank loans, and it's going to come out, and that's going to be the catalyst to get oil to where it's at, right? So that's why you're going to see a lot of consolidation in this area, right? And as we trade this, Pat is going to be your resident expert. Pat Dabbit will be monitoring oil and will be your guru in oil, and will give you updates throughout our trading room and our go-to-meeting stuff. All right, so that's where we're at here. We made a low yesterday of 36.54. I mean overnight. So we're trading below value. All right, and right here is the bull bear zone of 37.48. Okay, and here is the point of control 37.58 and value right high 38.05. So pretty simple. Once they get on your charts, it's a visual, all right, and and these are the kind of things that you want to look to for helping you with your trading decisions. And then you can do a profile on oil. We have profile on all of these things, right? All right. Gold, like I said, trading inside value. All right. We got a high up here of 1080.40. I got a low of 1068.90. Purple is the new bull bear zone for us, 1073.90. And then we've got a point of control of 10.719. Okay. So look, gold's in a holding pattern. And I've said this before, demand product. Please, anybody who wants to argue with me, send me an email and try to prove me wrong. It's a demand product. All right. And I learned that from the guy who got me started in this business, who was the smartest man I know when it came to trading the markets. Okay. And that's Maury Kravitz. And I'm gonna do a whole special on Maury one day and talk about how he influenced me. And hopefully I get his daughters in here and maybe we'll come bring them into the office here and let him talk about our relationship over the years. He was a very interesting guy. He actually led 2 expeditions to Mongolia to look for Genghis Khan's tomb. He and Chuck Connors were Chuck Connors, if you're old enough, remember the actor, right? He was the gentleman that was played the rifleman, and they had the biggest collection of Genghis Khan, all right? And for you listeners who don't know what the lore is about Genghis Khan and his tomb, was that Genghis Khan conquered the whole New World at one time, and his and all of his battle techniques, as far as the platoon, the squadron, the numbers, a 10, 100, 1,000, were all adopted by modern time armies, and so he had the band of mongrels, I guess you would call them, right? Mongrels who would go and they would go in and conquer different cities and countries, and they were taking back all the artifacts, and they did this for like 15 years. And when Genghis Khan died, he was entombed by 2,000 slaves, and then when they got done entombing him, and they put all the artifacts as a gift to the gods in there with them, and then when they got done entombing him, there was 400 mongrel soldiers who executed the slaves, and then when they got back to the city, Genghis Khan's sons had the soldiers executed. So where the tomb has been a very interesting saga throughout our history, right? And Maury believed that he had found it, so he didn't find it, and Maury passed away several years ago, and I miss him dearly. Love the guy. All right, so that's the story of bonds. So my point about gold is in a holding pattern until we get the interest rate hike, and if we get the hike, then gold is going bye-bye. It's going down to $1,000. All right, and bonds are the same thing. You got a little bit of a rally based on the missing of the expectation today, or the estimate for unemployment. So bonds are also in a holding pattern to the 16th. Okay. All right. Any questions? Yeah.
No.
All right. All right, guys. I got to get moving, and we'll get some other stuff out to you. And we've got a lot of work to do on the site today and testing. And tomorrow, the Tasty Trade. I'll be on there live tomorrow from, I think it airs between 9:30. It's about 45-minute documentary. And then I'm going to be there for about an hour answering questions. All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye.